Alexander Hamilton was a remarkable man. He grew up having to fight his own battles in his day-to-day life, not to mention fighting the British in the Revolutionary War. In 1786, Alexander was appointed to the New York legislature. Months later, Alexander was appointed as a delegate for the Constitutional Convention in Annapolis. This made him very happy, because all he had wanted for a while was a spot with enough power to influence this new form of government that had to be made. He was amongst many other delegates from other states. A young, optimistic, determined man was finally getting his shots, but then all of his hopes and dreams started to close in around him. While Alexander was at the convention, he stood up and gave a 6-hour speech about his ideas on the national system. He firmly believed that presidents should serve life terms and there needs to be lineage within the government. He basically wanted to recreate England, which many Americans were not too thrilled about. More importantly, Alexander argued that neither the New Jersey nor Virginia plan were adequate enough for the task at hand. His opinions on this were so strong, he stood giving his speech for multiple hours, proposing this new form of government. This wasn't easy. Not only was Alexander exhausted from arguing competently for 6 straight hours, 2 New York delegates, Yates and Lansing, fought his every word. He put in hours of hard work and effort into something that was inevitably going to fail because of the stubbornness of his fellow delegates. Alexander was defeated. After hours of pouring out his soul and the most important things to him, all of it was meaningless, and it got him and the convention absolutely nowhere. While all of this was going on, Alexander was leading another important part of the ratification process, the Federalist Papers. James Madison, John Jay, and Alexander Hamilton teamed up to write 85 essays and articles promoting the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. At least that's what it was supposed to be. They originally planned on writing 5 each. They thought it would be enough to convince the public and get their points across. John Jay finished his 5 and then quit there, leaving Madison and Hamilton to it. Madison went on to write 29, but Hamilton, writing about the things he's most passionate about, ended up writing 2/3 of the letters, a whopping 51. After writing endlessly in a span of 6 months, Alexander faced a similar fate as he did with his speech. The Federalist Papers ultimately failed. Virginia ratified their vote first, rendering New York's vote completely useless. The letters had absolutely no influence, or so it seemed. Today, the letters are still the most in-depth explanation of how the Constitution functions and why it works. But Hamilton never got to see the letters' influence in his lifetime and only remembered all of his hard work and passion as a pointless gesture.
Yep, let's go. Oh. Wrong state.
Virginia ratified their vote first, making New York's vote.
Now you have to stay in that seat, okay? Please. We're doing a big project.